Hello, my name is Emily Stockton, and I am a Master of Library and Information Science student here at San Jose State University. This is my Ignite talk for Assignment 3 and Info 281 with Professor Megan Price. Today, I will be discussing safeguarding Indigenous cultural heritage and the important role libraries and archives play in preserving cultural knowledge for future generations. So, what is cultural heritage safeguarding? It's the process of protecting and preserving the cultural identity of communities so it can be passed from one generation on to the next. According to UNESCO, safeguarding includes identifying, documenting, preserving, protecting, promoting, transmitting, and revitalizing cultural heritage. Cultural heritage includes both tangible heritage, such as buildings, artifacts, archives, and photographs, and intangible heritage, including languages, oral histories, traditions, ceremonies, music, and traditional knowledge. Libraries and archives safeguard this heritage by preserving collections, digitizing fragile materials, documenting community histories, and partnering with Indigenous communities to ensure cultural knowledge is preserved respectfully for future generations. My focus group of the United Kingdom provides several excellent examples of cultural heritage safeguarding, one of which is the Transcultural Heritage Program, which studies transplanted and Indigenous intangible cultural heritage within the UK, where researchers have worked with communities through interviews, focus groups, and documentation of cultural settings to better understand how traditions are preserved in multicultural societies. Another important initiative is the British Library's Endangered Archives Program. Since 2004, the project has funded more than 500 projects across 90 countries. Together, these projects have digitized more than 16 million images and over 35,000 audio recordings. Rather than removing these collections from their local communities, the program works collaboratively with local partners so culturally significant materials can be preserved while remaining connected to the communities that created them. There's also the University of Cambridge's World Oral Literature Project, which focuses on documenting endangered oral traditions before they disappear. These include folk tales, ritual texts, historical narratives, songs, and traditional stories. A key strength of this project and a critical component is its emphasis on working alongside local communities so that they can document and preserve their own cultural heritage. Together, these initiatives demonstrate that successful preservation depends not only on technology, but also on collaboration, long-term planning, and community partnership. California also has strong examples of Indigenous cultural heritage safeguarding. One example of this is the American Indian Library Association, which provides professional guidance, educational resources, and standards that encourage libraries to use culturally appropriate archival practices and work respectfully with tribal communities. There's also the Pechongan Cultural Resources Department Tribal Archives, which demonstrates Indigenous-led stewardship. Rather than relying on outside institutions, the tribe itself manages and preserves its own collections, which include more than 100,000 cultural artifacts. Their approach emphasizes community ownership, cultural protocols, and tribal authority. Another important organization is the Association of Tribal Archives, Libraries, and Museums. Through initiatives like the Going Home Fund, they help return culturally significant objects to Indigenous communities while connecting museums, collectors, and tribal nations. Together, these organizations show that successful safeguarding is most effective when Indigenous communities lead decision-making about their own cultural heritage. Despite these successes, libraries face several important challenges. One of the biggest challenges I noticed is ethical stewardship. Indigenous cultural heritage includes knowledge that may be sacred or culturally sensitive. Libraries must consider issues such as Indigenous data sovereignty, intellectual property, consent, repatriation, and cultural competency before making materials publicly accessible. There are also challenges to digital preservation. Digitization helps protect collections, but digital files require ongoing maintenance, reliable infrastructure, accurate metadata, and long-term planning. Preserving oral traditions and other forms of intangible heritage also presents unique technical and ethical challenges. Funding is another challenge in libraries. Creating exhibitions, maintaining storage facilities, and supporting digitization projects all require sustained financial investment. Without consistent funding, preservation efforts become much more difficult to maintain over time. These challenges remind us that safeguarding cultural heritage is an ongoing responsibility rather than just a one time project. The United Kingdom offers several practices that libraries in California could adopt. One important practice is decolonizing library catalogs by using respectful language and descriptions developed in partnership with Indigenous communities. Libraries can also expand community led decision making and participate in regional cultural heritage networks that encourage collaboration among libraries, archives, museums, and tribal organizations. These practices would provide meaningful benefits to local communities by preserving Indigenous history and identity, strengthening cultural continuity, supporting reconciliation, and improving public understanding through respectful collaboration. In conclusion, cultural heritage safeguarding is about much more than preserving historical artifacts. It is about protecting stories, identities, languages, traditions, and the knowledge that connects communities across generations. By combining ethical stewardship, strong community partnerships, and sustainable preservation practices, libraries can help ensure Indigenous cultural heritage remains respected, accessible, and meaningful for future generations. Thank you very much for watching.